What's happening, guys? I'm Kobe Chow here with Craig McCoy, and welcome to our latest Tuesday training, where every week we bring to you a live training from lead gen and AI all the way to business planning and goal setting.
You have the new version and the old version. We collaborate to make it awesome.
If you want to join and jump on the next Tuesday training, join our school platform below. It's completely free. Click the link below, and we'll see you there. All right, Tim, you want to jump into the market?
Surely. Let's see what's going on today. Iran continues. Still no clear path to resolution, obviously. So not a lot over the weekend. Oil is still sitting pretty high. So are gas prices, and that's kind of the big backdrop for everything happening in rates right now. It's kind of making things tough right now. As every time we get like a good improvement, then we get a little fear, which spikes the market or spooks the market and spikes rates. So, clients who have been floating, which we watch carefully, we get a rate lock alert like midway through the day, and you have to make a decision like, do you jump on it or hope it's just a temporary thing? So it's kind of like whack-a-mole right now with mortgage rates and trying to figure out when to lock, when to float based on how long we have. So we pay for a rate lock advice service here behind the scenes. The place called MBS Highway, and I share that with Bill and everybody else. And Eddie also, we go to Mortgage News Daily. So we watch rates carefully for our clients. We're on top of it, but there's some days you just kind of get it wrong, but it is what it is. Tomorrow we have a good CPI report coming out, Consumer Price Index, and its forecasts are encouraging. They're hoping regular inflation and core inflation, which strips out the food and energy, is going to go down a little bit. The Fed's target is 2%. We're expecting to go down 2.5%. So I'm optimistic that tomorrow we get a good reading. So my fingers are crossed that that actually happens. Even though things are kind of volatile right now, the housing market's been pretty resilient, kind of nationwide. Obviously, different markets will see different things. So buyers are still moving when the right home comes across, as hopefully you guys are seeing, whether you're selling a house or finding a buyer. And sellers hopefully are getting real and are willing to negotiate. So it's kind of a good combination right now for both buyers and sellers. Where rates are right now, the conventional 30-year fix is at about 6.75 at no points. Paying about a point, only about a quarter less. So these are the situations where sometimes I advise clients like, don't pay anything right now. This is a big benefit. Try to get in kind of a low cost, no cost, and then as rates drop in the future, we can hopefully do a refinance down the road. On the government side, FHA, VA at about no points. We're at a 6.25, and about a point cost. We're at 5.875, almost 5.75. So that's where the mortgage market is. That's where we are. Any questions, concerns, you know where to find us.
Any questions for Tim? Besides,
Don't ask me rates are going to be in about a month. That's not a fair.
that was
usual
my question. Any other questions for Tim?
Or mortgage related? I don't think, is Bill on the call right now? I don't see him on there.
No, I don't think Bill.
I have one, Tim. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So when you're selling, when you say that you can refinance them down the road, like how do you use that in when you're actually going through the closing of the sale or making the client feel comfortable about what they're going to be paying?
Got it. So on the mortgage side, when I'm talking to clients, whether it's a refinance now or even a purchase right now, when I structure a loan, I try to structure it where the closing costs we can minimize by meaning one, hopefully we won't have any points or origination fee.
Right.
On top of that, we can structure it where we can cover all or most of the client's non-recurring closing costs like title, escrow, stuff like that. So that as they're getting a loan right now, whether it's on a purchase or refinance, ideally it's at low to no cost, meaning they're not paying anything out of their pocket to get the loan terms. So that just means that down the road, if rates cooperate and come down, we can then do refinance for them at that point. We can still do a no cost refinance if we really want to, but if someone feels like, you know what, I want to get into this loan and stay with it for a while, I don't plan on selling or refinance, then that's where we look at paying costs, their own closing costs, paying to buy the rate down. At that point, maybe we look at doing it at that point. It's just that sometimes right now, when the rates are all over the place and they're maybe elevated and we expect them to be better in the future, that's when maybe we say, hey, let's do it on the low to no cost side. So that's kind of a no-brainer that if rates come down short term, less than a year, you didn't pay a lot or anything to get your loan right now.
Thank you so much, Tim.
Yep.
Awesome. Thank you, Tim. I know last week Dylan was on with you guys. I'm not sure who was on with him last Tuesday, but hope that was helpful for everyone. Did anyone find that helpful or any like other questions? Do you guys want to see more of Dylan on these calls to go over the back end How do we feel about that?
TJ and Ryan are both, and adding.
Adding some
Yeah.
I think that's sorry, go
I
ahead.
missed last week's, but I've had a bunch of one-on-ones with Dylan. And he is so helpful with all the technology stuff. He's able to
Justin, how
explain
are you
stuff.
scheduling those one-on-ones?
I'll we could send out Dylan's Calendly link, and so he's kind of just
Okay.
for all of you guys. And so the point of having him jump on last week and kind of run it was to just reintroduce a lot of the features Link has. And so for us, whenever we find a new tool, like originally it was GHL and Playster and different websites and different tools that we come across, we try to implement them and roll them out to agents that are coming on board. And we don't always do the best at re-rolling it out to the rest of all of our agents. So sometimes it's like we'll send out an email, but obviously emails get lost. People don't always see everything. So we're going to start having them kind of come on probably once a month and just going through what exactly we are working on the Link side of stuff and like what new tools we have to offer. And so
The stuff for that too is very self-taught. He'll give you like a general, and if you
Yeah.
just play around with it, you can learn it like that.
yeah,
Yeah, I think that's great. Like GHL just has so much. It's really one of the most like robust CRMs that we've seen, and that's why we offer it. I know it can be intimidating too, just kind of like so many different features. We try to be selective with what we present to the agents so that you're not overwhelmed with all these features, but definitely talk to Dylan. If we're having a Tuesday training with him on, we will let people know that Dylan's coming on. Definitely would recommend getting on those. Helps with, not having to repeat himself, or he can dive deep into these things in front of everyone. So keep that in mind. Also, Playster, the website provider that we have, they're rolling out a bunch of new features with that. If you have a website with us, if you don't and you want one, let us know. Obviously, that's available for all our partners, solo agents. It's getting really, really sleek, really clean, a lot more bells and whistles you can add to your website. So let us know. Maybe we'll have him jump on and show those differences next time he's on. Again, that's exclusive to our Link agent. So if anyone's interested, let us know.
And then one other thing, Claude and GHL can now you can plug in GHL into Claude now. So that's something that you can upload your whole CSV file and do the automated workflows and all that stuff
are you using the Windsor AI like integration?
on that one. Then I use the ChatGPT agents to bring it over from there.
I was up to like 2 a.m. last night playing with my
I
Claude
was doing
integration
the same thing. I was up to like 3:30 doing all that. I was using
Okay.
I'm using Higgsfield now though.
Oh, dude,
So
nice.
it's tough, but it's gonna be cool once I figure it all out.
But yeah, so we will point being every single week, every single day, it seems like there's new tools that are being rolled out. GHL is like on this like just speed run of rolling out new AI agents and new tools for all of their clients. Placers just I think they raised money to keep building out these different AI tools and like different builders, and just the customization that you can do on the websites now are great. And so we are definitely staying just kind of on top of everything that's out there, and then want to be able to like bring that to you guys so you guys at least know what's out there. You don't need to spend all your time staying up until 2 a.m. testing Claude stuff. And Tyler just sent Dylan's booking link as well. So if anybody wants to ever book a time with him, go ahead and book on that.
Yeah, and it's good to have questions ready for him too.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Or if you just want like an overview, I don't even know where to start. How do I use this? What is this good for? Like, feel free to go in with more of like a preliminary meeting with him. If you don't have a website, go ahead and like buy a domain, get started, make sure that you have the actual like assets that you can start marketing yourself and have an online presence. Dana, I'm thinking of you. Do you have a website right now? Are you interested in that? If not, it's all part of what we offer. Would love to get you on one.
I'm doing the problem, which is don't let great get in the way of good. And so I continue to overthink it and think, well, I'll think of something better. And then it's months down the road and I still haven't.
Yeah, I think our last conversation was as intimidating as it is, like you got to just pull the trigger and
Yes,
get it out there. Just know
do
that
it.
no rush, obviously, but whenever you're ready, you let us
No,
know.
I need to get on that. Like, in fact, I was thinking about it last night. I was at
Oh, I was good looking at you, Andrew. All right, can't get behind the camera like that.
Yeah, just hop on GoDaddy or any other domain provider and buy that domain
I mean,
name.
I've bought several domains that are
Okay,
sitting there.
cool.
I just don't love any of them, but I need to just go with it and then change it later when I do come up with
Yeah.
something better. Because I was actually in a great position last night. I was at the Malibu City Council meeting and I got some really good introductions, and I was so bummed that I didn't have anything to hand out. But
Yeah, you never know. You always want to have that groundwork, laid
exactly.
out so that when those opportunities come up, you're ready to go.
I'm on it. I'll do it. Just do it.
And another quick reminder, anything that we ever talk about when we're on here, talk about the 5-step marketing plan, Google ads, meta ads, circle prospecting, our websites, our CRM, our outreach, obviously Link.ai, like we have built every single one of those pieces for you guys as well. So anything, if you ever hear us talking about, oh, on this listing, we got it by doing X, Y, and Z, and you're like, hey, I wanted to do that. You could text Krems, you can get on call with Dylan, you can get on call with me, Tyler, Andrew, whoever it is, and we will build it personalized kind of for you as well. So even if you want just kind of like a high level overview on what we were actually talking about, obviously feel free to jump in on these Tuesday trainings and say, Kobe, slow down and actually explain it instead of just showing it. And or we can always set up one-on-one calls as well, kind of build it out for you guys personally.
Are the meta ads paid through Link, or we have to pay however many we want per day?
You guys pay for the
Is
actual
it
ad spend. We'll manage them and like, create them and
like
stuff.
$20 a day, $50 a day, or something like that?
We've seen as little as like $10 a day do fairly well. You start like seeing volume at like 30 to $50 a day.
Got it.
And then depends on the like client type that you want. And so if you want buyer leads, those are usually like 10 to $15 a lead. If you want seller leads, they're usually like 70 to $80 a lead. And then just the different levels of intent. So do you want to like today buyers, then you're going to not get very many of them. If you want within the next 2 year buyers and you're getting like buyer guides, you can get those for like $7 a lead.
Got it. And then one other thing I want to propose. I just spoke with my cousin. So they work with a company that scrapes all probate lists from the court before it goes out. Um, he can get us all those lists per county. He gave me all the San Francisco and San Mateo ones. And they sell these lists too. So he said if we like one especially, it's a good deal, he'll scrape it from that list from us so no one else really can see it. If we really want to go after it. So we could set up a call with him too to kind of structure some contract with him.
Let's do it. Throw me on whenever.
Yeah.
Sweet. Any other questions on Dylan's kind of call last week? Does anything that he went over that you guys need clarification on that you guys want me to kind of do a screen share run through of, or was he pretty thorough and all set?
I think he was thorough.
Okay,
Seems like we're good.
good to go.
Well, I mean, I think he was super thorough, Kobe, but I'm also kind of like a Luddite. And so like I'm like one of those people who needs to like learn like twice or even maybe 3 times, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's just my answer to that, and but I don't want to be bothering anybody.
Feel free to jump on a call with him and once again or us at any point. So like I said, Tyler just sent his booking link in the chat here. So if you guys ever need to, definitely jump on. That's what he's here for. He's here to help all of our agents with websites, with CRMs, with his ad side of stuff. And or if he doesn't have any availability, let us know and we will be able to jump on with you guys as well. So definitely what we're here for. Sweet. All right. Do you want to run through some?
Yeah. Actually, one thing I wanted to talk about real quick. I was talking to Elisa about this the other day. I don't think she's on this call, but whenever like this whole circle prospecting thing that we talk about, obviously Kobe and I use that to get listings, but also to market those listings when we have them and maximize exposure. I think it's a win-win on both sides, right? It gives you more credibility and more tools and more strategy when you're at the listing presentation, but then it actually also helps sell the listing. And it also turns into kind of like doors that are cracked open after you actually close that listing. So just giving you an example, if you bring something to market and you get a list of the 50 neighbors in that neighborhood, I would personally, instead of like what Kobe and I do usually on a mass scale, we do like automated texts where it's informing people of this new listing, of any highlights, of any adjustments, open houses, etc. I would call the 50 local neighbors and introduce yourself
Free market.
Uh, on top of this, we were talking about this the other day, which we think is huge, hosting a neighbors only open house and inviting them to that. So that way it's not on the market, it's not public to other agents and on Zillow or anything like that, but you're inviting the neighbors to a neighbors only open house. We read this or heard about this the other day. I think it's a fantastic idea. Next time you have a listing, you should try this out. Not only does it make neighbors feel like exclusive and they're coming in, they can talk shit about the property if they want. They can compare with their other neighbors because that's what they want to do. Everyone knows nosy neighbors come through and they have their opinions, and it is what it is. Give them that space to do it without impacting, the experience of like an agent with another buyer. Let them come in, say what they want to say, but the goal is to make those connections in the neighborhood. They know your
And
family.
also, oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
My recommendation for that is to do like an evening one
Yeah,
around on like Thursday or something. So everyone's getting home from work. It's right down the street before dinner or something. They could just walk over with their family. So
exactly. Yeah, like 5 to 8 p.m. on a Thursday is probably perfect timing. But the goal with that, of course, is to show more face, introduce yourself, pass along your business card, show them through the property. They're not necessarily going to be the ones that are going to buy it. In fact, they're probably not. But it's the relationship that you're building. Usually they might know someone that is interested at least, or that they want to move into the neighborhood. We've had plenty of tours with people that, oh, I want my niece or my nephew to come move next to me or whatever it is. But it's also after you close. So when you close that property, let's say it's with an agent and another buyer, you are now reaching back out to all those neighbors, just informing them of that sale. It's just there's multiple levels of touch points, and it's not as intrusive. It's more just informative. It's value add. It's, hey, come check out this property. Hey, we just listed this. Hey, we just closed this.
Some of those
So
neighbors might want to sell soon too, but I've seen there's been a couple people in my neighborhood they'll do the 2 to 5 open house on Sunday, but then do from 1 to 2 prior to it for neighbors only.
yeah,
So it helps get the neighbors out of the way and they're shaking
yeah.
hands and getting to know them, seeing if they want to buy, and then having a clean slate and a little bit of activity beforehand before the rest of people come
or
in.
if they have any friends that
Yeah.
want to be their neighbors too.
Yeah.
I think it's huge. It's a great way to get a foot in the door with the neighbors, like the exclusivity of it. I think they love the kind of open floor for them to say whatever. They're going to be very opinionated about their neighbor's house. It's always going to be, something where they're comparing. And so give them the space to do that. I think it's a great idea when you have a listing, and I think that really just gives you a reason that isn't as intrusive or out of the blue or unsolicited, whatever you want to call it, but a reason to reach out and a reason to keep them in the loop. Kobe and I had this experience with this Carlsbad listing that we had, and it went extremely well. So think about that next time you have a listing. The pre, during, and post outreach to the neighbors, I think, is something that you could do to really kind of maximize your business there.
And I think one thing to kind of go into it in the mindset of is when you're talking to these neighbors, if anybody expresses any interest at all of selling, you could use that when you're talking to the buyers that are coming into the open house. So we had at the open house 2 weeks ago, probably 20 groups come in, and a couple of them didn't love the house, but the day before we had talked to one of the neighbors and she was like, oh, I want to sell. I want to sell it off market. Like, if you can bring me a buyer, like, I'll do it. I don't know when I want to sell. Just very kind of vague timeline. But when the buyers came in, they're like, oh, we don't like the house because X, Y, and Z. We're like, oh, we have another one down the street. She's talking about selling. We have a meeting with her next week. Do you want to set something up? And they're like, oh, heck yeah. Like, here's my number. Take my information. I definitely want to go check it out. And we have a tour today at that house and another one tomorrow. So it allows you to stay in contact with these buyers. It allows you to like actually have something of value to give to them. And then for that seller, it's like you're going above and beyond. You're trying to schedule off-market tours for them. You're trying to kind of get their home out there prior to even listing. It's a way to really show your value as an agent without just going in and saying, I want to list your house. Like, you can actually bring viable buyers. They already kind of trust you because you're doing open houses in the area. You probably know the area.
Yeah.
It's a really good way to bridge that gap
Yeah.
that most people don't know where to start with. So
Yeah, and there's a high chance if a neighbor or a local owner is open to off-market tours, that they eventually will put that home on the market if it doesn't sell. And you want to be that person that's consistently coming through the door with, more or less like viable buyers, viable options for them. And it might not work out for them off market. That is what it is. But you do that consistently, and it shows that you have the connections, have the network, and that you can actually bring people through the door. So
It's a
Yeah.
great way from a buyer's point of view to be different than every other agent. Instead of just sending them what's on Zillow and saying, don't go tour these 4 houses. And they're like, I already saw them. Like, I don't want them. It's
Yeah.
You're bringing them deals that they can't see anywhere else. And so they're probably going to trust you a bit more.
I just thought there was this one other open house in my neighborhood down the street that they did an espresso bar. So I don't know how much it cost them, but there ended up being about 30 neighbors in the house for a good 2 hours, all catching up with each other. It became like a small party,
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
which
wow.
was interesting. And then other people were coming into the open house, someone I hadn't seen in years. Like it was really interesting, but it was a little bit, it was a former celebrity owned home. Not a huge celebrity, but a musician. And so there was interest from that level, but still it ended up becoming this interesting party. And so it actually shut off the neighborhood really well for the people who came in, even from the outside. They're like, wow, what a great tight knit community. But everyone's all hopped up on caffeine. Great. And then someone else did a taco bar that went over really well too.
Yeah.
Oh, we used to do that when we sold our a couple townhouses. We would set up the taco truck and everything.
Yeah.
Stephanie Younger used to do In-N-Out trucks in Westchester. And I
Oh,
think those were like a couple grand.
wow.
So
Yeah, but
she
the
crushed
amount,
it.
the exposure you get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She had lines down the street.
You get a great
Yeah.
name association with it. People remember
Yeah,
that.
for sure. Like, I'm sitting here talking about it right now.
Yeah. There, you said the name too.
If you're hesitant to spend the money on it, make it exclusive then to neighbors because I
Yeah.
think, I mean, in Carlsbad, we're sensing that a lot of neighbors love to like drink and actually party for whatever reason. Like they just keep bringing this up, and so Kobe and I might consider, I don't know, like a couple beers, glasses of wine, or something like that. If that's what the audience wants, then you got to appeal to that. So yeah, I think it's great, and targeting the neighbors is huge, especially in a way that gives them a reason to come out even more so than checking out the property, whether it's coffee, whether it's wine, food. Yeah, a lot of things you can do.
And you guys advertise this through circle prospecting, like the espresso bar and the taco bar and the
Yeah,
drinks
yeah.
or whatever. That's how you reach out and advertise that.
That's how I would do it, just because you want to make it a little bit more exclusive. Otherwise, every agent and their mothers are going to come by and take advantage of that. But if you want that, that's fantastic. We've seen it open to everyone before. If you want to be a little bit more selective, that's where you go circle prospecting. And Chris, that's where I think if you grabbed a list of 50 neighbors, like if you go through Link.ai, you request the circle prospecting, we're going to get you a list of 50 neighbors with their contact information. I would call these people up directly. Or if it's too many and you want to send out a text, that's totally fine as well. But there's nothing quite like, a conversation when you pick up the phone and call them and say, hey, this is who I am, this is what I'm doing. It's value add, it's less, it's really something that they could be very interested in and less of like an unsolicited call. So
Yeah, the worst you can
that's
get is
the best
no.
way to do it.
Yeah. And or
But
fly.
I've been trying to buy all the lists of like distressed properties. So, because we have the construction company in-house too and interior design. So I'll call those distressed properties and see if they want us to come in, work on the house, and then list that as well, bring their property value up. And then if not, we just buy it all cash and then flip it ourselves.
Yeah, there's a lot of different angles to go in when talking to sellers. It's kind of just picking your niche and picking up the phone.
Yeah.
And going and knocking on the doors or sending the text out is obviously the easiest but hardest part. Like
Yeah.
Craig says, it takes no talent. It's just showing up and being consistent with it. If you guys do it, you're going to get good results. Uh, Anything else on that?
No, it's all good.
Sweet. We can kind of run through some of these Link.ai features that we have. If you guys have any questions on any of them specifically, like I guess backing it up, has anybody been able to use it? Any of the Link.ai features? Do you guys have any feedback on it? Most of the features we originally wanted to build are now out and on Link.ai, and kind of just gathering feedback. And so I've been kind of calling some agents that I know are using it that I could see have been using it, getting feedback there. An iOS app has been one of the things that keeps getting pitched, that I'm an agent and I'm always on the road. So if I could do this just from my phone, that would be very helpful. So that's something that's in the works currently. But before we kind of like launch that and finalize that, we want to make sure this feature list is exactly what you guys want as well. So has anyone been using it fairly consistently slash any feedback, both positive and negative, is very welcome right now.
signing up right now.
I mean,
Makes sense.
I used it over the weekend for a quick home valuation, and it was really easy to use. I had never um, used it before, so and I felt that it was accurate, even after going and looking at the comps in the area.
Okay, sweet, great to hear.
Yeah.
Good to hear. Yeah, guys, I guess if nobody is using it right now, here's just the main, like the top 3 or 4 ways you could use it right off the bat. Like what Adam said, home valuations. If you want to send one quickly, put someone on a drip, a monthly automation. Should we just show them all this really quick? Yeah.
Yeah, because I was just been
I'm
on
still a
Claude.
big
I didn't know you guys were transferring this all over to this, so this is gonna be a lot easier.
You got to jump on our Tuesday trainings, Justin.
I build
That's where
houses all day.
That's where we tell people. Uh, yeah, no, Justin's all here now. App.link.ai. You should have your account set up. If you don't, let me know and I'll get it sent over or set up for you.
Are you
All right,
guys
thank you.
still thinking about doing like whether it's like video training or just like overview videos, or a monthly meeting to just kind of go over all the bits and pieces that are in here?
Yes, and so we were going to do that for the next like 20 minutes. Was go over just another feature, and we were going to start just kind of tacking it on at the end of these Tuesday trainings. Just like today, we can go over how to set up somebody on a home valuation and just kind of go easily step by step and show you guys and answer any questions as we go. I think the goal would be to go over like 1 or 2 features every week, and just do like a very like slow version of it. And then if you guys have any questions, obviously you guys can jump in and ask questions.
I think that's great.
Sweet. So, home valuations. Let's do it. Home valuations. You log in, you're on your dashboard. Before I jump into that, workflows is the other thing we were telling you guys about. And so, as we are building these out, if you come and you log in, you have dashboard and then you have workflows. And you see the top 4 workflows here. You have seller lead, buyer lead, new listing, or you just want to get leads in general. And so what we're trying to do is kind of automate the steps as well, outside of just telling you go set up a valuation drip, net sheet, and create a presentation. If you have a seller lead, we guess those are the 3 things you need to do. And so the system will take you through, help you create a listing presentation, set that client up on a valuation drip, and then create a net sheet that you could send over to them. And so that's kind of the point of where the workflows are. But at any point, you could come into on the left sidebar, you have sellers, buyers, promote, retain, and then all the tools. And so trying to make it, if you have a seller lead, come into the sellers tab, you can see the presentations, the valuations, the net sheets, and then your active listings. And so to kind of go through one of them, the one that we see people use kind of the most is the monthly email that goes out for home valuations. And so to set that up, you come over on the left sidebar, click on the sellers, click on valuations, and then you could just click new valuation. And so once you click on that, it'll pull this up. You input client's name if they're already a lead in the system.
Slow down. Are you back to workflow or the other one? Like you
Sorry.
were telling us about workflow and then you just went right into this. So where are you? Sorry.
Yes. So on the left-hand side, sellers.
No, I understand that, but a few minutes ago you were saying there's 2. There's workflow and there's dashboard. Are you on workflows or are you on dashboards?
Dashboards.
Thank you.
Yes. So workflows, forget about workflows for now.
Okay.
So when you first log in, you click on the sellers from the dashboard, and then the 4 little tabs here: presentations, valuations, net sheets, and listings. And so you click on valuations.
That's the workflow to get you to your end result.
No, so guys, the term workflow is basically there to describe an A to Z of how to get something done. The reason why we have that is because if you don't want to poke around with all the tools or anything like that and kind of like look at everything from a scattered perspective, you can go to workflows and say, I have a seller lead. I'm going to start the workflow, and it's going to basically bring you from beginning to end what we think you need to do in order to get the result, which is selling that property. So whether that's getting the listing, marketing the listing, nurturing the client, whatever it is. It's a workflow from A to Z with the goal of selling that property. That is just every feature rolled into one. So disregard the workflows if you'd like. Right now, we're just talking about specific features that are all within the workflows. And Kobe's talking about the valuation. So if you're in the nurture stage with a prospect, that's when you're going to be doing a valuation automation. That's also embedded in the workflow because from A to Z, you meet the client, you put them on a valuation, you do a listing presentation, you get the listing, you do a net sheet, you close the property. So workflow is just a term that we use to describe A to Z.
Yeah, and you guys do not need to use it at all. So kind of forget I said anything about workflows. And when we're showing you guys just different features on this, it'll be like the individual tools themselves. And so you guys don't need to go into the workflow section. If you guys want to create like a valuation, you would just come into the sellers tab, click into the valuations tab, and then click new valuation, and it'll just stop after that.
Kobe, just a perfect example right now. And I love the fact that you're taking 10 minutes, but like I have you on my phone and then I have my computer up. Well, I didn't have a seller in there. So I just put an address in so I can follow what you're doing. So if other people have their computer up or however they're watching you, if they can actually go into, if they already are, Link AI, I don't think you need app anymore, then they can, it's easier to see what you are talking about
Yes.
if they have it on their screen. And they make up, 123 Main Street if they don't have a seller, because then it makes complete sense.
Yes. And you don't need any leads in here to do this yet. So when you click the new valuation, you could input the actual client name and email. And what I would do is put your own name and your own email in to start. And so you could see what the email comes in as, and you could see how the system works, and you could see what your client's going to see. And so when you're coming in here to create your first tool for everything, I would definitely just put your own name in, your own name and your own email, so you kind of see what it looks like coming in.
And then you can automate follow-ups from there.
Correct. And so to create the actual valuation, you put in client's name, their email. You can either search by the address or by APN. And so, Adam, this was one of the issues I think you had, was it was a condo, and so they all had the same address. So how you pick it,
Yeah.
you can also just throw in the APN here, and then what the system will do. Let's do.
Where did you find the put your name in? Where was that?
Right when you click on new valuation. So
It was
from
the top right of the last page.
Yeah. Sue, do you see it here?
Yeah.
So when you click that, it's just this first part right here.
Okay.
And then what the system will actually do is when you put in the address, it'll pull the valuation for you. And so it'll do its own AI version of the estimate. Obviously, AI is not always perfect, and that Zestimate's wrong sometimes, and all of these different online valuations are. And so we added another kind of sub tool, so you could see it estimated this home is worth 1.845. It doesn't know the exact it knows the exact location. It doesn't know the inside of the house. It doesn't know the work that had been done. It doesn't know if there was an addition that wasn't on public record, if the person added a pool, or if it happens to be next door to somebody who turned it into a triplex and the property is in a terrible spot now. And so we wanted you guys to be able to add your own adjustments, especially in a city like Canyon Lake, where we have a lot of agents at. There's within one street homes that are on the water versus off the water. This home has a view and this one doesn't. So it's really, really hard for an online system to get a very accurate valuation. And so we added the adjustments feature. And so the system will come out and say, this is worth 1.845. And then you, as the agent, before you actually create the valuation drip, can adjust either by price or by percentage. And so if you think, I really want this to be at 1.9 when I send out the valuation, you could just add a $45,000 adjustment. $55,000 adjustment. Good math, Kobe. And now your valuation's at 1.9. And every month when the system goes in and repulls the value, it will add $55,000 to that valuation. You could also do it just by percentage. And so if you just generally feel that this is off by about 5%, you could click the percentage button next to adjustments and type in 5%, and it will always add a 5% increase to whatever the valuation the system is providing. And the same way
And
you can add an increase, you can add a decrease.
and then you would also be able to send this directly to that client, obviously. Would it show comps with it too, or
Yes. And so the
okay?
system will kind of pull some of the comps. This will put them immediately on a drip where it will send once a month a new valuation update and says like, congratulations, your equity is now here, or like your home value has increased. You guys are able to come in here and edit the valuation price at any point as well. And so if you're kind of monitoring some of your clients and you see that they added a second story to their house, you come in here and adjust the valuation as well. You could rerun the valuation, make a new adjustments that will go live on the next email that gets sent out.
So where do you do like adjust for like if you want it to be the exact match, a 3-2? Like where is that in this? Or like all, an over 55 or like where is an exact match for when you do this?
For sending comps over.
Yes.
So
For this evaluation, because evaluation, you really want an evaluation to be based on something similar to the property.
correct. And so I think that is going a little bit more into the actual like listing presentation tool as of now.
Yeah, if I may jump in here, this like a use case for this, Sue, would be, let's say like a lead that you know or a lead that you just met, right? You go to an open house, you have a great conversation with the neighbor. They tell you that, oh, my house is the only one with a pool on it. I might be interested in selling sometime soon. I don't really know. It's a way to nurture that lead and stay in front of that lead. This is not like the end all be all valuation or presentation or comps list. This is a touch point that goes to the prospect on a monthly or weekly or bi-monthly basis that just gets you in front of that client again and again without any effort. So
Yeah, they see.
I talked to this lady who owns 5080 Arbel. She told me she's got a pool, one of the few homes with a pool in the neighborhood. I know that's probably worth 200K more than what this system's telling me after I ran my own comps and looked into it myself. And so I'm going to add 200K to it and put her on this drip where it sends this out every month and it fluctuates with the market and other comps, but it just shows her this is where your equity's at. I had a conversation with her. We talked about it. We agreed her house is probably close to 2,050,000. I'm going to come in and adjust it this way. And this is going to go out to her every month, every week, however you want to do it. So this is more of a lead generator, like more of a, I guess, touch point for prospects versus the listing presentation, which is more like I am far along in conversations with this prospect or this lead, and I'm sitting down with them soon, or I want to send them something to have that goes in depth in terms of my analysis of the cost or of the price. This right here is really just another way, a tool for agents. If I'm talking to someone like, hey, I'm going to put you on our home valuation calculator, just so you know, keep an eye out for monthly updates from me. And it's going to all come through this system after the conversations that you had that are just like ballpark numbers. It's branded, it's coming from you, there's calls to action on it. That's what's different about this versus like HomeBot or other sites that you can use. It's automatic, it comes from you, it's branded. Sue Sherry popped up in my inbox again. My equity grew by 2% over the past 3 months, whatever it is. And it gives me a reason to ask questions, reach out, or it just puts your face in front of them multiple times without any effort.
And then I
Okay,
think,
good.
and most importantly with it, the insights that you guys get. And so I'll show you on the dashboard after. You'll see every time Kobe Chatwin opens that valuation email.
Yeah.
And if he clicks on a button, you'll be notified. Kobe Chatwin clicked on his home valuation email that you had sent over. And so how we treat it is if a seller we see opens the email and clicks on it, that's a cue for us to pick up the phone and call them and say, hey, Mr. Seller, saw you were kind of checking out the home valuation. Do you want me to send you an actual, like more concrete listing presentation or a opinion of value based on what I'm seeing in the market right now? And then we'll take that and include the comps on that, include our remarks on that, talk about the 5-step marketing plan on that. And that's the point when we actually send over more or less a full kind of listing presentation. This is more of a mass scale, if you're dealing with 50 sellers in your database and you want to stay in front of each of them by sending them monthly valuations, you can 100% go and do it manually and create a listing presentation once a month for each person. This will be a way to kind of automate some of those touch points.
Yeah. I think the goal is to have a bunch of people that you're sending this to, right? Any person that's even remotely a prospect for you. It could be a family member, it could be a friend, it could be someone you meet at an open house, someone you run into in the street. Like, put them on this. You should have multiple of these running at each time. What Kobe's saying is the insights into who's actually clicking on it should trigger who you're talking to. I see that John Smith opened this up on a monthly basis. He clicks on X, Y, and Z. Probably worth giving him a call. I see that this other person never even clicks on this link. Okay, it's probably not as hot of a lead or as good of a prospect. So the goal is to cast a wide net with this. Everyone that you meet that is a potential seller, even if it's a family member, I mean, try or put your close clients on this. After you sell a house to somebody, it's a great way to do it. They bought it for $1 million, add a little bit of extra because because they add X, Y, whatever. They're going to add something. Okay, they're already in for $1.020 million. Give them that every month. 2 years down the road, they're going to have gotten 24 different emails from you, and you're going to be following up them automatically like that. So different ways that you can use it, but the goal is to just put everybody on it based off of the information that you have. So make it as accurate as possible. That's why we have this adjustment feature. If you know that there's a foundation issue and it takes off $300K on the price, then add that. And then once they resolve it, go in and change this. Keep up with them and follow up with the work that they're putting into the house.
So I just did a couple of them, and I don't mean to be the devil's advocate or be negative. I think it's really important. You're just basically giving bait to a client, hopefully they open it and they remember your name and you connect it. Because basically I'd be giving wrong information out if I use this system in an area that's not cookie cutter. So let's say you have a home that's next to a really wealthy area and you're selling the least expensive home and it's picking up from really wealthy homes, then the numbers are really skewed. I wouldn't want to send to somebody, oh, your home evaluation is 5 million when it's closer to 2 million, or 800,000 when it's closer to 400,000, just
Right.
because it's not taking into account that all the homes right next to your home have bigger acreages. So
Right.
I hesitate to do something without making it a little more specific to my own prospect's property. That's all.
Yes, no, and that's totally fair, Sue, and a couple different things there. That's why we have this adjustment feature. So when you get the original value and you know that it's on a street that is, it's pulling comps from other streets that are a lot more desirable or whatever that might be, put the adjustment down where if it's a 400K home, not an 800K home, put the adjustment home because it's going to be pulling comps from the more expensive homes across the street. Like, we understand that. But also, correct, this is not necessarily for like the clients that you have a real relationship with. This is a lead generator. This is for someone that you can send it out to that you don't really know as well. Yeah, it's not baiting clients, but it takes into account your input here. You want to give them as accurate of evaluation as you can, but it also just gets you in front of more people. The actual listing presentations are what you use to truly give good information to your clients. This is just an automated way to stay in front of more people so that they're not just going to Zillow and looking at Zestimate. So they're not, using other platforms. It's like coming from you and there's agent involvement there. That's what the adjustment feature is there for, to make sure that the price is as accurate as possible, even though it's an estimate, but it's going out monthly from you and they're not relying on other sources. At the end of the day, this should not dictate what your opinion of value necessarily is. Like, you sit down with them and you go through a listing presentation with them, you tell them, hey, we're actually pulling these comps. This is the reason why it's worth this much. Like, that is the real value sit down with the client. This is a way to cast a wide net and to get in front of more people if you're interested in generating leads in this way. You don't have to use this at all.
I guess before that, Sue, question for you. Would it be more beneficial if during this initial kind of create valuation subscriber, you were able to pinpoint what comps the system was pulling a bit better? And so if you were able to like maybe draw on a map and say only pull comps from within this map feature, or how would, in your opinion, you be able to kind of personalize it a bit more? Because we don't want it to feel bait and switchy. One of the biggest issues and the reason why we added the adjustment feature is we were trying to add somebody in Ranch Santa Fe to this and it showed the house was worth $7 million instead of $27 million. And our concern with the adjustments feature of that was if you try to jack up $20 million to their valuation and the system then catches on in a month from now and it thinks it's worth $27 million, your purchase price is going to come in at 47 million. And so the further on either side you get of really, really, really expensive and really, 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 really unique or really, really cheap, you're going to have bigger variances. And so we're kind of talking through the ways to prevent that from happening. So
you're saying if I go in and I adjust the percentage or price, so let's say it shows me 1.5, a lot of 1.5s for something that's really only worth 1 million, and I adjust it to 1 million. Everything from there on out is going to be adjusted that sends out to them.
yes.
Yes.
So it's more general than doing something more specific is what's just the difference. I won't. Yeah.
Yeah, so it takes into account the adjustment and it fluctuates with the adjustment with the market. So if 1 month it's down 5%, it's going to be down 5% plus the adjustment. And it takes that into account so that you're sending out as good of an estimate as you possibly can. And again, this is just supposed to be automated. It's supposed to give people an idea and a reason to reach out to you as their agent to eventually do a listing presentation, which we'll go into maybe on the next call or something like that. But yeah, the goal is to give you like a feeder or a funnel into actual conversations where you're sitting down and going through comps, property by property, why it's worth this exact dollar amount.
Okay.
Yes.
Is there a way, is there a way to add, the spouse to a second email?
Not at the moment. So you're saying be able to pick 2 leads that it goes to at the same time?
Right.
That
For like couples?
not there yet.
You want to write that down? We can add that for sure. But I guess back to Kobe's question and Sue and anyone else who wants to chime in on this, would it be better if we built a feature in this for these valuations where you could just draw a shape on a map and say only take properties from this location? If it is that specific, if it is that unique, would you guys want to see that kind of feature?
I would.
Yes.
Yeah.
100%.
Okay.
Because what we could kind of do is
I'd rather have a feature that says exact match. Because if you're doing condos, you want exact matches. Or if you're doing
Yeah.
You want to be able to get a little more granular.
Thank you. Good word.
What we'll do then is we could build it in the sense of how you go into the MLS and you pick single family homes, this minimum, this maximum, bed, bath, square footage, lot size. We could have you guys kind of filter out the comps that it's running from,
Right.
and either give you guys a map view or a radius. And so instead of just having this small adjustment feature, it could say property address is 5080 Arbol, original value is this, and then give you guys the ability to adjust. So let me
Kind of like what you would see in like title.
correct. And so I think what we could do, this is not what it looks like yet, but like on our saved search feature, you guys could pick the city, the state, type, is it house, townhouses, price range, bed, bath, something like this. And so you guys could kind of start here, then go maybe into a map and or to a radius, and then tell it only pull comps that are active, pending, active under contract, or sold in the last 12 months. And then it'll give you guys and then just take the average of that and send that out. So maybe
Just real quick, can you add whoever joined to this call?
1 second.
Never mind. Thought I saw 2.
Hey, Kobe, I wanna jump in and just echo the same thing that they're saying. I agree. I was just setting it up. I was testing it on myself because this is something that I would use for literally like probably 175 to 200 of our like ongoing clients that we know own homes that we talk to all the time. But yeah, I would not take the risk to send it and it look like, I understand the hook to someone cold where it's like no harm, no foul. But I would rather send it to people that are warm and know that it's not going to be crazy off. It's okay if it's off by 50, 75K, you know, but that's really important to me as well. So having that filter ability to like within square footage and everything, it would be powerful.
Do you guys want also, we kind of threw this question out there, a like safety feature, if you will. So I come in and I set this home's worth 185. If it fluctuates by a certain more than a certain percentage, it like pauses the email from going out, notifies you, and allows you to go in and readdress it.
Yes.
Yeah, like a fail
Yeah,
safe.
that would be great.
Yeah.
Okay. We could work on both of those then. So changing the way the valuation is actually coming up with the valuation, and then some sort of fail safe that if it ever fluctuates by too much, it notifies you. There'll probably be like a little button here that's like double check estimation.
Manual override.
Yes, there's also, without throwing out too many different ideas, maybe when you're creating the valuation, it allows you to pick automated versus manual. And if it's automated, it doesn't matter. It just sends it out and it's to the absolute coldest of cold leads. And if it's manual, once a month, it pings you and says, "Hey, Josh, here's the valuation that we're about to send out. Do you want to put eyes on it really quick?" And you could just click approve and then it sends it out. So we'll kind of talk through that. Maybe we'll do all three of those features.
Also, in addition to that, I do think there should be what I'm familiar with, an audit log where you can actually see what gets sent.
Yeah.
Now I know that there is actually, if you go into the lead, I think you guys already have that. But like when I create a new lead here, I can't see, it says last activity 7 minutes ago while we're all talking for this one I just created that's a test lead. And there's an email button. I could press email, but it doesn't go anywhere.
Okay.
So I don't know why that is. I know the email's good. It like doesn't do anything and it hasn't emailed to that email. But knowing when that first one goes out is also valuable. Like send now, you know, send weekly or send as soon as ready or something like that. So we know. I do see that there's lead activity. So I would guess that in lead activity, you could add it in there, what the system is sending to them versus what they actually interact with. You know, maybe that's highlighted, but does that already exist?
Yes. And so we need to probably move where this is actually shown at, because right now it's pretty buried, just because it's a new feature that we haven't like fully integrated yet. To see the emails that are actually being sent out, you can come into all tools, and down in this nurture, you see auto emails, which once again, this will get moved into the actual dashboard. This was just kind of hidden on purpose.
If I wanted to send out my own follow-up emails, not in regards to the city, the market, wherever it is, like an update, if I want to send up a follow-up email that I drafted up, could I implement that as a weekly or?
Not yet. And so we haven't gone into the actual like drip campaigns or anything that's going to be from yet.
I'm doing that through Go High Level right now.
Yeah, and so we're having it still just be through Go High Level until all these features are kind of built out. The emails that will go out for the nurture or just save searches, and the evaluations we were talking about. But just
so I'm there, Kobe, and it's saying last email never sent, and I could do send test update, and I click the email button, but it's still not sending. So like just an idea of when that goes out.
Usually it should be today and then every month. So
once a month. Okay.
I will double check on that. But yeah, you'll be able to see when they were enrolled, when the last email was, how many emails were sent, how many were opened, how many were clicked, and then you can see what the actual email looks like here.
So so under the nurture makes sense under auto emails, but maybe if that data is also replicated on like for that lead under the lead, when you go to the lead, that might be valuable.
Yes, it will show there, as well as here. So if you're on the actual dashboard, I guess it moved some of the tools to this part already, but if you go to the dashboard and you scroll down a little bit, you can also see valuation subscribers, who's on it, and the last email. So I'll double check on why that doesn't get initiated immediately. They might be waiting a day for it for some reason.
Can I ask a simple question? So once you do this valuation, how do you get it to the person? Like you put in the email, like what's next?
The system sends it out once a month.
Call to action on it.
So there's a
But-
send test button that I just clicked, and it shouldn't be called test, assuming that this is a good lead. Obviously, I'm testing it.
Yeah.
But that send test, I clicked send test, and it just forced it through. So that's something to note. Also, that send test forced it through. I can request net sheet. It did change the number. I actually manually put in the value for this one, 25,000 off, and this one it sent it with a different value than I put in. So I don't know why it would do that, but that's interesting.
Will you
Okay,
forward me
that's
that
good to know.
email?
Yeah, sure. It looks great, by the way. I mean, we're talking about ways to fix it, but this is like, I think this is a gold mine, frankly.
Yeah. Work
unlike
in progress, but
Guys, yeah, we appreciate all the feedback. Obviously, we're working through bugs and stuff. We want to see what you guys actually want. The original thought here was just based off of HomeBot, and HomeBot is a lead generator. So just know that that was the original thought. But if we want to make this more intentional for your clients, absolutely we can do that. We have notes on all the things you guys said, and we can build that out so that you can make it more unique to each of your clients and more accurate. So we'll take a close look at everything. Make sure we fix those things, Josh. But it's good to know that you guys would use this, want to use this, and that it looks good. And
have you guys been profitable through it so far? Many sales?
Me and him?
Yeah.
No.
like, we just built this.
But you got
like-
leads, but you've gotten leads just
Yeah,
a
you
few
got
weeks
more
back,
leads.
right?
We've
So-
run leads from it, and we've been using it for like 2 weeks.
Yeah, this is all very fresh, Justin.
Yeah.
But the thing is, Kobe and I have been using pieces of each of these features from other companies to get leads. So it has been successful. It's what we've kind of like consolidated all into one platform of things that we actually use and hopefully can build better so
It's
that you
easier.
guys can access them. So we've used HomeBot before. We've gotten leads from HomeBot. We've we've sat down with a listing presentation. We've done buyer tours in different platforms. Now it's all just on one place, better for you as the agent, and with the engagement and visibility that helps. So like when people actually click on things, branded to you, that kind of thing. So all this is very fresh. There are going to be some bugs. That's why we appreciate when you guys actually use it and tell us what you think. So we always appreciate the devil's advocate. Like we want to know what works and what doesn't. Like right now, we thought it just being a home bot, like cast a wide net, spray and pray type of thing. If you guys want it more intentional and that's something you actually use, then we can build that in less than a week.
Whoa. Which maybe.
Let me
we-
not give any timeline promises. But our developers move quick though, so just give us feedback.
Very interesting. When you send this out, it actually gives you a estimated sale proceeds.
Right. And
Interesting.
that's a call to action right there. So we want that prospect cold or warm or hot, even like to request a net sheet. If you want to get a more detailed list itemized of what it would cost to sell this property, you're going to get notified of that.
Okay, red huge flag though. Like when we just had a huge ass lawsuits about agent commissions. You guys having this agent commission 6%. I mean, you just like that. We like that. That's scary, dude.
Is that what it says on there?
It says 6% agent commissions, and it also doesn't take into consideration at all what the person owns.
We
owns
can
on the home.
we can take that off.
To try clicking on the net sheet, and then it should be all user inputted from that point on. And so if the person actually goes to request a net sheet, they put in when the closing date would be to calculate property taxes, what their loan payoff
I
is.
understand that, but if they don't, and I send this out to somebody, they're like, "Well, I'm making $900,000 in my house, but they owe 500." I've given false information. I just
Maybe we give it a week and kind of just play around with it as a team and before we send it out to people. Just
oh yeah,
to make
for sure.
For sure.
Yeah.
I-
Good
Yeah.
idea.
I was going to suggest something kind of like the book club, even though I don't partake in that. Maybe for like the tech purpose of things, we say, okay, this week we're going to work on feature A and feature B after we run through it and everybody has a better understanding of it. And then, the following week, there's a time slot for an hour where everybody that has done it gets together and says, all right, Andrew, Kobe, this is what I did. this is what worked, this is what didn't work.
Yeah.
Because it obviously, like, a lot of people have input on this stuff, and it can take up a lot of time. But it gives everybody a week to play with it and, see what works for them or what's confusing and what's not, take notes. And then there's an hour dedicated solely to those two features or that feature.
Very good
Right.
idea.
That's an amazing idea. And let's do that next week. Let's do the home valuation only this week and listing presentation and listing.
And
Okay.
Adam mentioned something, and the word was book club. And I just want to say you can do all this technology you want, but if you don't have the skills in the books that we've read, like How to Win Friends and Influence People and Atomic Habits and the other books, like those are true sales books. And trust me, I wish I would have read them 20 years ago because I have had a lot of insight and I think it's improved my sales. So you can be a tech head as much as you want and send all this stuff out. But when you get in front of somebody or you meet somebody, you got to have the skills that are in those books. So
100%. No,
that's a plug
dude,
for
this
the book
is
club.
kind of our whole mission with tech, with Link is to just make agents better at what they do. It's not ever trying to remove the human component. We know that at the end of the day, that is the most important thing. But to have these tools under your belt, to know them well, and to sit down with clients, prospects, and be able to pitch like this is what I have in addition to myself, and also just to use them to save yourself time and to save yourself energy and effort. This is what it's all about, is just to enhance agents and their quality of work and what they can do. So reading those books obviously is key.
We're also differentiating ourselves from like Keller and Compass and all that. They don't have this stuff yet. So you guys are jumping early.
We appreciate that, Justin, and I can't emphasize that enough. Like, truly, Kobe and I have a potential listing presentation this Friday. This has been a big part of what is getting him to sit down with us again. Like, this is a completely cold lead that was cold called. Like we said, we got a listing from just pitching these services because the question comes up more and more often. What makes you different from other agents? What are you going to do outside of just plugging this into the MLS? Like, I know a lot of this seems scattered. I know a lot of it seems like overwhelming at times. Like, there's too many features and we're trying to hone in on a couple just to teach you how it works. But once you actually learn these guys and get them under your belt, it's like, this is what I do. This is what I can provide. I promise you, it'll be an easier pitch. It'll be more leads. It'll be more interest from other people to be working with you. Like, this is what Kobe and I have been doing for years now.
What you put in it.
So guys, for next week, if you guys can take a look, valuations and presentations, they go hand in hand, right? Valuations, of course, like we talked about, more of a wider net. We're going to make it more intentional for your clients. It's pretty self-explanatory. It's a value of the property based off comps. Presentations is what happens after the valuations go well, after that gets enough engagement. You sit down and you are presenting something with that client. And that's, if you guys can go in here, do like a mock one. Come in here and just put a random address, random list price. It's going to create everything for you.
Here, I'm about to sell this house. Put mine.
Yeah, put ones that you're working on. Obviously, this goes out to nobody until you actually send it. So all the public record will auto pull APNs, everything. And I know for like Michael and other out-of-state agents, just play around with like 123 Main Street in a random California city for now, because this will all be available in your market sometime soon. Pros list price, I was talking to this person about 2 million, whatever you want to do. It creates it right off the bat for you.
Does it pull the pictures of the property and all that?
It does a Google map photo.
Yeah, it is a Google map photo like this right here. But just come in and play around with it and see what it is capable of doing, see what you can add and not add. Like here, this comps list, pretty easy to just come in and look at a map and plug in comps. Plugging in just addresses, adding off market, adding an MLS number, saves you time on this end. I want to add 123 Main Street. It's a great comp. I just plug it in right here, either through the address, the MLS number, or the property address. You can change the different categories.
Play around.
Yeah, play around. Sorry, too deep into.
Try it out, test it out, click on the edit buttons, click on the different pages that you can add. We want to see how easy it is for you guys to use as well. So today we were able to go over evaluations a little bit. We got you guys' feedback. Over the next week, if you guys could all go in there and create like 1 or 2 listing presentations to allow us next week to like kind of take a deep dive on what you guys thought of it, how easy and intuitive it was for you guys to use. And then we'll like run through how we create one and then you could see the features that we use on it. Make sure that it was easy enough for you guys to use as well.
Should we just set aside like an hour after the Tuesday 10 a.m. meeting for the tech talks
I
right
think
now?
what we kind of do is usually, I think the Tuesday trainings can go about 30 minutes.
Okay.
So if you guys want to kind of always plan for Tuesday trainings being 10 to 10:30, and then from 10:30 until 11:30ish, we'll always kind of set aside for just Link.ai features.
Yeah, I think an hour time slot is good.
And so we'll start first 30 minutes, market, mortgage, link updates, questions, wins and losses, stuff like that. And then we'll go straight into Link.ai. So that allows people to still jump on the Tuesday training if they want. If you guys need to peel off at 10:30, all good.
Yeah.
And then if you guys are able to stick around for another hour after that, we'll kind of run through tech stuff.
Awesome.
Did you have something?
Yeah, I'm just like a public service announcement. Book club, it's becoming less of book oriented and more about just like another extension of this meeting where we're kind of talking about how things are going and just going off other ideas that we're it's more of a conversation than less of a book club it's turning into. So just putting it out there and encouraging others to join in because it's been looking a little scarce, but we are having good conversations and it's not just about the book.
I would
and then how other people view.
We'll have a private conversation with the host of the book club, Craig, and see what he has to say about
I
that.
have been reading Atomic Habits, and honestly, I feel like I'm pretty maximized in many ways already, but it's definitely improved some habits of mine since reading it.
Yeah,
it's great to hear. Josh, did you have something before we jump off?
Yeah, I'm gonna need one of those hats.
Oh, Justin, yeah.
That
Come
thing's
down to San Diego and grab one.
If it's come at hand, pick it up.
Yeah, I'm gonna need one of those.
Josh, did you have something?
No, I was good. I didn't lower my hand from before. No problem.
Okay, got it. Last thing I want to say is just welcome to Janiqua. I'm not sure if you can hear us, but she is part of an Atlanta-based partner and team that we just brought on, Atlanta Seniors Real Estate with Hillary Walker. So very excited to have you guys recently joined. Just want to say hello. And I know you jumped into kind of like a complicated conversation.
Well, it's kind of at the tail end, but I still wanted to come in because I find these groups so helpful, and I just appreciate that y'all do this on Tuesdays. Even just a little bit of information is good. So I'm happy to be a part of the link and just happy to be here. So thank you so much for that introduction.
Of course. And Janiqua, like I said, we'll have a kind of a private Link.ai introduction to you and Hillary and the team. So yeah, I just wanted to say hello today and thanks for jumping on.
Thank you.
And yeah,
how y'all doing, everybody? I hope y'all are having a wonderful day and have a good rest of your week.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you all. All right.